They played way better than anyone expected. It was a Cinderella story coming into Charlotte. Everyone, I mean, how can you not root for the international team, right? You got the Aussie and Barcode and the Mexican phenom and Tapping Buttons teaming up with the top 25 player of all time, Mikwin and Gilkey, rounding out that roster. I mean, how can you not root for this Native White team?
Yeah, I'm excited with Native White. You know, they did underperform a little bit last week, where Cloud9 overperformed. In fact, Cloud9 were the ones to knock Native White out of the tournament, literally just on last Thursday. However, this was a much different Cloud9 looking roster. You know, you had Monster filling in for Nemesis, who was on vacation, and we all know, like, Monster's like, you know, the online team fill in, like Whisperer. Like, you just put them on any team to fill in and they go crazy. French Toast to Mafia, Cloud9. Now he's playing with Proton Gaming. If you need somebody to fill on your team when an online tournament, you call Monster and you will succeed. But now Cloud9 having to do it with their full roster. You know, you have 3 players signed in Squale, Triton, and Nemesis onto Cloud9. Remy, who, God help me, I hope by now has gotten the contract because he's been playing absolutely lights out. Can they beat Native White again with their actual starting lineup?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting test for Cloud9, right? We're still on the winner's side, right? So this is the perfect opportunity to show how far you can go, but it's going to be tough. Because this Native White roster, when they're hot, man, they can take down just about anyone in this league. And, well, Barcode, he has fans everywhere. This guy can absolutely turn it on at a moment's notice. Watch out for him throughout this entire game.
You're right about that. I'm a fan right here. I love Barcode. He always has this, like, jolly smile on him. And whenever I'm around Barcode, I can't help but smile. He's such a good dude. But I will say, I learned one thing about him. He can talk some trash. Don't let that goofy smile fool you. My man is a trash talker on land. He was screaming at that old Believe the Hype roster and then really letting them know as Native White just absolutely decimated that open bracket, ultimately when it's a pool play. Love the progression out of both of these teams so far in this hill. Nobody able to take over just yet. That big double kill by Tapping Buds might have opened things up just a bit for the rest of the team to get in position.
Marco trying to do his best to survive, but it's not gonna happen. He falls down. And you can see how Cloud9 are just swarming to the point, trying to put as much pressure, and they're trying to keep Native White spawning towards the bottom. They were successful at that, and then on top of that, got the kills when they mattered the most, are able to push into that next hill. So Cloud9 doing a phenomenal job to start.
Okay, moving over toward the subway side. Cloud9 finding himself 4 down, so not only is Native White already set up onto the subway side of the map, you're gonna have Gilkey with the rockets right in your face, even leaving the Bulldog behind, because you know you might have to finish off a one-shot player with the BR. The first one gonna go a little haywire. The second one does end up connecting onto Remy. I love this route to get the longest angle possible to get those easy shots onto Nemesis. Gonna come back in for the clean up, trades out his life there. The Shroud's gonna block the angle for Native White to continue to put points on this board.
See Barcode with that disruptor pistol in the back. This thing is absolutely potent at finding in kills, but see as they're trying to get this one out. Guys, you can see on the bottom of your screen we don't have a scoreboard to look at, so we can't quite tell you how far into these hills we are. So we're gonna have to do it by the field test, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to be trying to feel out when these teams are going in. But Cloud9 looks like they just won the spawns, but Tapping Buttons, he's on 10 kills already, and he's not trying to give up anything. He's going right for the jugular. Triton goes down, and Tapping Buttons wins the spawn by himself.
Considering Native White had that early control, had the rockets, and all that time while Cloud9 were getting wiped, Native White were in the hill, I'm going to assume that Native White are winning out this hill at the moment, especially with Tapping Buttons and the long-range shots like that. One of the better long-range shooters, him, Tuscan, there's a few others that they just seemingly don't miss downrange, as you would say. It's a 1-0 lead in favor of Cloud9 at the moment here. Native White just a few seconds away from taking over. Cloud9 just starting to get their first bit of progression on the hill.
Look at that clean transition. Looks like we got that scoreboard back on our screen, and we can see right now Native White very close to finishing out this hill, but Cloud9, they've taken control of the spawns, and these rockets coming up, they can change just about everything. This can buy enough time for Cloud9 to get right into this hill and steal this one away from Native White.
They already have the first hill. If they can take the next one, that can be devastating here for Native White, especially with Cloud9 getting away with yet another rocket launcher. And while all that happens, Rami just sitting toward the corner of that hill, trying to set the remote detonation, not going to connect. He has to trade out his life there in order to get the kill, and Native White break right into the subway side. While that happens, unfortunate, that remote detonation would have connected. Maybe they would have been able to steal that hill away, but instead it's Native White that tied things up at one apiece.
And Native White find that break, but look how far away they are from this next hill, although they have the red gun. And I always say Gilkey, I think he's a top 5 player with this red gun. So damn good with the weapon. They are gonna struggle to play forward because look at how far Cloud9 are pressed onto the spawns of Native White. By the time they get to this hill, it might as well already be cat for Cloud9.
I mean, we already know Gilkey is one of the best back players in the league, but top 5 with the, I'm gonna have to pay attention. Let's see. Show me something.
This man is absolutely devastating with the red gun when he's heating up.
All right, Gilk does do something for me. Okay. Gonna switch to the BR to finish off that player, but Gilkey's still alive with the red gun. Finally gets to put it to work. Sadly, ends up in a bit of a 1v2 as Cloud9 take their second hill and now already have position moving into the next one, but Squale might have bitten off a board he can chew. He's in a 1v2, has the reinforcements coming in, so now they're both gonna get aggressive. Love the collapse out of Cloud9 as he takes the back angle, buys enough time for his teammate to come in, goes in for the flank, and turns a non-advantageous position into an advantageous one. What a play by Squale and Cloud9.
Yeah, so heads up from Squale as well, right? Realizing he had the flank opportunity, was quick with it, didn't leave his teammate out to dry. Now, oftentimes you see flanks like that, the player gets there too late and his teammate dies. No, it's perfect timing from Squale, and it was able to get those kills. But in the meantime, Native White have taken over the hill, and Miklin was able to get those rockets as well. The first one not going to be able to do much damage, and unfortunately, he's not going to be able to keep that hill in Native White's possession as well. Cloud9 swarm. Cloud9 take over this hill, and now we're looking more and more likely to take a 3-1 lead. And a 3-1 lead on Streets King of the Hill, Tony, you might as well call it GG.
Yeah, I mean, look at the time, 2 minutes and 48 seconds. That's a weird time. Like, normally I know 2 minutes and 30 seconds teams will like to play Slayer on that third and middle hill. I wonder what Cloud9 gonna do. Like, is it a little bit too much time for them to try to play Slayer? Will they try to play for the time? Well, I guess only time will tell. So far, Cloud9 not in that hill just yet, surrounding it at the moment. And I think they're gonna play the time here. It's gonna be a long 2:30, but it looks like they're electing to play the time.
Rami, he's trying to goad someone into coming into the Shadow Realm. No one gonna take that bait. They go for this hill instead, and you can see barcode and tapping buttons are the most important players on the lobby right here, right? They have the red gun and they have the spawn control. They need to find a way to break out back C, especially if they want to play this time, because that's where you can get the most damage downrange. But barcode, he's not going anywhere. He knows exactly what his job is. You're gonna see him sit here and keep the spawn for his team.
Yeah, it feels like it's almost impossible for you to hold the team out of that middle hill while playing time if you don't have the C control. Trine obviously aware of that, so he breaks right through. They send multiple members over toward the subway side of the map, and Trine emerges victorious. But rockets aren't coming up, and we do see Native White dangerously close to that, and now both teams gonna be pulled out of their position and fight for a big win. And Barco with the back-to-back kills, Trine finishing off one. Rockets end up in the hands of one, but he's gonna get the double kill before he's able to fire it off. But 4 down go Cloud9, and the Shroud goes in early, fires off a prediction rocket. I'm not even mad at that.
You know, I think Bitcoin saw that going very differently in his head. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's such an interesting idea. Shroud's off the spawn of the opposing team, so they can't get immediate access to the hill. You know, I think you could have maybe put like a Shroud in front of you. I don't know. It's interesting though. I like that idea for Bitcoin, and you can see that rocket, it didn't connect. You know, I think he did it for style points. You know, you put the Shroud screen down, Tony, and you throw a rocket through the Shroud screen to get a kill. It's kind of hype.
Hey, the way I'm looking at it is, if he hits that, we're calling it a genius play. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true.
I'm loving the play by him, and he's feeling confident right now, but they're still down 1-3, and they're still trying to capture the hardest hill to capture in Halo Infinite right now. Cloud9 with the shotgun slides right in, has to trade out his life there, but still doing a great job of holding down to the seaside. Looks like trying from long range with that Stalker rifle, gonna pick up one. Gilkey tries to sneak his way in. He's gonna be spotted and dealt with, disrupted, and taken down. And we'll start it off at 2 minutes and 48 seconds with this hill. Look at how much time has been drained. You do see some progression for Native White so far, but it's going to be tough. Even if they take this middle hill, they still have to take the B street side in order to tie it up.
Yeah, that's why you always, I think when it's 3-1 on streets, you always play time on the middle hill, just because the amount of time you can milk away, even if you don't get the, like, even if you're not able to prevent the game from ending on this hill, it's just so much time. Like, if you play for Slays on this hill, I feel like it's impossible to give up this hill early. It's going to take at least 2 minutes of effort every time to get this hill.
26 seconds left for Native White to try to sneak their way into this middle hill and try to take the arcade side as well. A lot to ask for, especially when they're going 3 down. Barcode, the final player alive, having nowhere to go but to the black screen, and with 8 seconds off of respawn and 12 seconds on the clock for anybody to make it back in, I'm gonna say it's mathematically impossible for them to come in onto this one. It looks like Cloud9 are going to be taking it.
Yeah, we shut it down, and Cloud9 just showing how potent getting a 3-1 lead can be, and everyone kind of styling up at the end right there. We had 3 players with 20 or more kills in that game for Cloud9, everyone doing their slaying responsibility. And honestly, just it's a clean game from Cloud9 through and through. I think they won that game. When I saw things changing for Cloud9 was on that 3rd hill over by PD. They just were so constrictive of the space that Native White literally could not push out of C across the map to get towards that 3rd hill rotation.
Cloud9 have played absolutely lights out, especially against any team with the name Native in it. Like back at Charlotte, Cloud9 beat out Native Red, obviously with the sub back then, but beat out Native Red in order to make it into bracket play 1 round away. They end up going into last week, and Cloud9 beat out this very same Native White roster. By the way, the same Native White roster that got 4th place on LAN at Charlotte, and now they're continuing where they left off. 1-0 so far against Native White at the moment. Cloud9 looking so good. Can they keep that same energy going into Live Fire Slayer, though?
This Cloud9 team has been playing so well online. It's been really fun to see how well they've played throughout the last couple weeks, because I think a lot of players discount this team early on. I think I'll say that I'm probably a player that, or a person that just discounts this team a little bit earlier than I probably should. And they've constantly shown that you should consistently keep these guys on your radar. They can take games, they can take matches on teams that you would never expect.
Yeah, man, I was actually really big on this roster, so I'm gonna give myself a little pat on this back. I was actually really big on this roster in the preseason, and I will say that going into Charlotte, I think they still even left a little bit on the table. Like I'm not mad, because they obviously made out an open bracket, which was the toughest open bracket that we've seen, even tougher than what season 1 was, which was a gauntlet. I'm not mad at they weren't able to hit those heights that I expected them to do in pool play, because it was a tough matchup for them. But I still feel like every single one of their matchups could have went either way. We're talking about like 1 or 2 mistakes away from them stealing away those games, and that's what I want. That's what I want to see them clean up, and going into scrims, going into practice, and just fine tuning just a little bit. We're seeing a very dangerous Cloud9 roster, and I feel like they still haven't peaked just yet.
Hey Tony, I just got word. Cloud9, they beat Native Red to get here. Yeah, what was Native Red's finishing result last week?
1-6-7 first.
Oh,
number 1.
Oh, so they beat last week's champions and went in round 4. Or we're in round 3?
Yeah, they did it in a game 5, a 3-2 in favor of Cloud9. I didn't even see that.
What?
Yo, I'm telling you, if your name is Native, get out of Cloud9's way.
They just beat up on your big brother, White.
They about to beat Native Pink, the combination of red and white.
They're already in Deranged Native's DM saying, hey, I'm taking on your entire team. Get another roster. We'll come through them. Cloud9 looking to be the spoiler of Native's dreams in the winner side of today's tournament. Just 2 more games and Native White already to a rocky start. Players going down left and right. Overshielding up in about 5 seconds. Cloud9 well positioned to play for it, but Miquin has the heat wave and the shroud screen, but the sniper just hits a little bit harder.
And what's crazy to me, now you have Nemesis, one of the best snipers in the game here, with not only that sniper rifle in hands, but the overshield as well. Native White definitely don't want to see this, especially when you're already fighting an uphill battle, down by 4 kills, getting trapped over toward the green side. Nemesis flying in, looking for a target. The problem is his teammates are killing the ones off of spawn. The other ones are escaping the A side. Finally, he finds a target to take down, but now he has 3 more to work on. That's gonna be a double kill, almost connecting on the triple kill. Somehow Nemesis stays alive long enough to get the killing spree there, and the rest of Cloud9 should be able to deal with barcode. Besides, that part of his kill that probably shouldn't have happened.
I mean, hey, sometimes you see a guy go through a corner, you're like, I think he's gonna go for something crazy right here, and it's not instantly that come to fruition. Only 1 bullet left in the sniper, and Squall A looking for a head to take Cloud9, and they can just keep this momentum forward. I mean, they won game 1 convincingly, and so far they've been doing a great job at keeping a lead on the score. In this game, honestly, this looks more and more likely to be a potential 3-0. Cloud9 just in the zone right now. Honestly, this has been so impressive from them, and now with Overshield coming up, the shroud screen's down for Native White. It pops off just in time, but Native White's got the Overshield with Squall A. He's got the gun that neutralizes extra shields, and already Cloud9 are collapsing on this Native White roster.
This is one of the reasons why I try to preach having like a nice, gaming and life balance. Step outside, touch some grass, go on vacation like Nemesis did, because you come back from vacation and you come back flying. 7-3, and assist to go along with it. Going up against the number 4 seeded Native White right now is Cloud9, having a 6-kill lead and looking good. As I say that, Native White started to bounce back just a bit, tapping buttons, clearing out that green side by himself, and now moving right over to the Charlie side. Sniper rifle coming up, and we know how important this weapon is.
And Buttons has all these players lining up for him, and he's ready to take on the challenge. First one goes down, but Triton, he's gonna come before the shields return. He's able to get that kill, and Triton, he had 27 kills in game 1. And you can see right now, Cloud9, all of them basically helping each other. No one really outperforming. And that's always a great indicator early on in the Slayers. If everyone's doing their job, you're in for a treat. And Triton, although, has been, he only has 5 kills, but he has 8 assists thus far. You can see he's been all over this map, just creating so much chaos for this Native White roster.
The entire roster of Native White have 10 assists as a unit, and Triton by himself has 8 at the moment. Even 5 kills to go along with that 5 deaths, so not a bad stat line coming out of Triton. I thought we were about to see some greatness with Parker. He was about to hit a crazy 360 no-scope, but luckily Cloud9 slow him down just a little bit, get that sniper rifle out of his hands, continue to put in the work. Overshield is coming up in just 4 seconds. Triton seemingly ready for it, but there's going to be 2 members of Native White that have a positioning on it, already melting Triton before being able to snatch it up, and now the one-shot Triton might try to dive for it, ends up going down. Nope. He steals it.
Tony, he was basically red barred at the back. A shaky shot, and it could be devastating for Native White. They're able to get a couple kills, but Triton, he's trailing behind, and they give him enough time. He's going to absolutely put some players on respawn screens. Still has plenty of overshield to work with as he flies into the front lines.
7-kill lead here, trying somehow finding that back smack and that sticky grenade. He throws one, and the second one is going to connect, tapping Buns down to about half shield because of that first plasma. So trying to continue to get aggressive, and Squall from across the map going to clean that up. That gives Cloud9 enough time to get in position and start to work on these spawning players here. Barcode getting shredded left and right. 3 members of Native White having to focus up on just one so they could break out of that green side setup, but the damage has been done. Cloud9 just 15 kills away from going up 2-0 in the series.
Everyone's trying to listen for anyone coming by. It's going to be able to find this engagement. Squall gets a kill, and this is something that we're going to see more and more often with the Shroud screen, is not necessarily using it to find overshield or to get a power weapon, but sometimes when you're one shot, you need to get away. That Shroud screen can be powerful into making sure you stay alive, but Triton knew exactly where he was going to go, stayed that way, and now look at this, the bandit rifle making its appearance. 3 heavy shots hit Barcode. Gilkey's not safe either. Triton feeling real calm. You can see why he has so many assists, Tony. He's getting right into the face of everyone.
That he is. He's opening up so many angles for the rest of his team while they're focused on Triton. The rest of the team are just getting in position to either support him or to get a flank off, and it's working off so well. Tapping buttons, trying to do everything he can to stay alive, but nothing working in Native White's favor. They go 3 down. Gilkey somehow deals with the final player that was in position for that overshield, but he still has to slay out. There's multiple members that are gonna try to stop him from getting it. So it looks like Rami the first one to go down. Gilkey now stealing away the sniper rifle. If they're gonna come back in this game, it has to be on the backs of the S7 sniper.
This game's certainly not over yet. And Gilkey might have just transferred everything into their possession, but it's a well-timed flank from Squall. We've seen it time and time again. He has been so vital to this Cloud9 roster. Although he doesn't have the best stats right now, he might have just gotten the biggest kill of the game. Right when Native White were starting to heat on up, he gets behind the most important player, gets kill after kill. A double to end it. Squall saves the game for Cloud9.
Big plays by Triton with 11 kills and 13 assists, but also welcome back Nemesis. 16 kills, only died 8 times. That's a 2.0 KD without even factoring the assist he was able to put on the board. And Cloud9 looking so polished, looking so determined and motivated right now. You're talking about, again, the number 4 seed from Charlotte in Native White. This is not an easy matchup for them, but Cloud9 making it look easy.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does their job too, and it's phenomenal to watch. Nemesis slaying out for his team, 16-8 throughout that game, but everyone doing their job, everyone breaking that double digits, and 13 assists from Train. I always find that to be so impressive when someone's that involved. And then Rami wasn't far behind there as well, almost reaching double-digit assists for his team at 9. And obviously we saw those important flanks from Squall. It really felt like Cloud9 was working as a unit where everyone had a different job on the assembly line, but when you put them all together, that's how you make a fantastic product. They're able to get that second game through, and now looking more and more likely to sweep Native White and both Native teams out of the winner's bracket.
What might be their third and might be the final map here in the winner's bracket for Native White. It's going to be Recharge, but it is going to be Strongholds. And I will say, I really like Cloud9 and King of the Hill. I like them in Slayer as well. In Strongholds, I think that might be one of their weaker game types. So Native White have to wake up. They have to come in. They have to come in swinging if they want to try have any chance to pull off this reverse sweep. They always say, every reverse sweep starts with that game 3 win. Native White, do you have it in you?
I mean, Cloud9, it's just all the momentum's on their side. These games weren't close, right? I think that's the big difference maker. Sometimes the games are close, and it's just like the team that's the lower seed was able just to sneak this one away. That's not the case this time. The 12th seed is beaten up on number 4 right now. Game 1, game 2, they were clearly in favor of one side, and that momentum can keep moving forward. Now, taking a look over here at our bracket, Tony, these teams, the top 4, are going to be playing on Thursday. Space Station and G1 have already qualified, so whoever wins this series well, they're gonna have to take a couple days and try to figure out how they can beat this FaZe clan roster on the other side, because FaZe are just sweeping their way through the bracket.
Yeah, I think no matter what though, even if Native White were to lose this matchup, like depending on where they drop in the elimination bracket, either they'll still be qualified as well, or like maybe be like one round away from qualifying themselves. So, but it'd be really nice to qualify through that winners bracket. At that point, you'll be one round away from the winners finals. You'll be one round away from making it into the top 3. So this matchup means so much. Native White looking to pull off the reverse sweep. Cloud9 looking to sweep themselves.
Right, and these tournaments are really important because, you know, I think Trippy's still out of town, so Optic not able to compete today. You got to get as many of these pro points as possible to help your seedings while some of these juggernauts are away. FaZe wasn't there last week alongside Optic. FaZe here this week, but you still have another week of potentially placing a bit higher because you don't have to play against that Optic gaming roster. And you need to get every little pro point, because as Tashi said, pro points matter so much this year. Online results are going to be important throughout the year.
And with the lack of scrims that we're seeing, I feel like this is also just valuable practice as well. You know, like if you're not able to scrim against FaZe or Optic early on here, and I guess what might be considered a mini off season, you know, play them in a tournament, watch that film review. You know, like this is still great, a great and valuable practice for all of these teams here. So far, the one-shot McWin doing a great job of grappling out of that situation, staying alive, holding on to the double cap and the early lead for Native White, who've seemingly woken up in the series.
Oh, but they just gave away the shock rifle. Triton has it in his hands. Barcode could be on the receiving end, taking heavy damages, but it's the Squall flank that makes a difference. He's been on it time and time again. They get the kill, and now Hill in their possession.
23-9 lead in favor of Native White now, but the double cap so far favoring Cloud9. You see Barcode trying to move in position here over toward the tower side. Nemesis tries to get away while one shot. Barcode not gonna allow that to happen. 2 members of Cloud9 though on the gold side of the map. Guilty about to find out the hard way here. Down to one shot he goes, but Randy goes down. Squall, who had a teammate here onto the gold side, ends up being left on an island and isolated, and just like that, Cloud9 get wiped.
Great plays by Barcode. He got this double kill, and it was that nade that landed by Squall's feet. That gets the kill. With camouflage coming up, it looks like Native White has the better position at the moment, and I believe it is Gilkey that was able to get that on his body. Tapping goes down, but Native White looked to be able to get away with that camouflage. Actually, I believe it might have been Mick who went down, so they might have been able to trade out that camouflage just in time. But these Hills looking more and more likely to head over to Native White. Tapping tried to stay alive, but there we go. Cloud9 able to get control of A. B never swapped hands, so Cloud9 scoring now.
Cloud9 with the 1-3 down, and Gilkey was doing a great job of playing his life over toward the Bravo side. I thought he might have been able to steal it away, but the rest of Cloud9 spawn up and deal with Gilkey, and Bravo never changes hands. Native White could quickly adapt, moving over to one of the perimeter bases. Now we have an AC setup coming out of Native White, and Cloud9 still having to push forward.
Miami looking to find pressure immediately on this hill, and Barcode didn't stand a chance. Caught mid-clamber, the nade punches, and Mikwin tries to recover, but he has a shock rifle that lights him right on up, and Triton's not done shooting the pad, trying to get as much of this damage downrange. And this is a dangerous spawn. What do you have, Triton looking right at you? Killing spree for Triton. And oh, Mikwin, you are one step away from getting your head ripped off.
Trying with the shock rifle, so dangerous. You already saw one perfect kill, but something tells me there's more where that came from. McWin somehow able to break out towards the mid-bridge side, trying down to one shot, not able to escape. Barcode steals it away, but the Nemesis with the cleanup kill. So 2 down for each of the members. These next kills going to be so important, and of course it's Nemesis taking the 1v1 shot, putting Native White 3 down, and now they're going to work on the Bravo and Charlie setup.
Honestly, a huge hill grab at B for Native White. It keeps trip cap pressure off the radar for now, but they have to be able to find some follow-up kills, and so far Cloud9 are just resilient. And Nemesis looks to get the camouflage away, but just can't quite line it up. Camouflage still goes into the favor of Cloud9, but it costs some mighty resources as Gilkey's able to track down Triton. The back smack as he's a one-man army trying to keep Cloud9 at bay. There's two more players coming for the Gilkey action. They're gonna both go down to one shot, but the job's done. Tapping buttons is trying to stay on the stiff defenses of A. And he's able to work with Migwin. Great job by these guys.
Cloud9 may have the lead here, but Native White fighting back. Loving everything I'm seeing here, but of course Squale with that camouflage trying to make some waves. Looks like he's gonna run out, and down to one shot he goes. Triton somehow able to pick up the kill onto Barcode, onto the gold side, goes down to one shot himself, is able to do a bit of damage onto McWin. It might just be enough damage for Nemesis to win out his battle, and it is. So Nemesis steals away Bravo, and looks like they're working on Alpha as well.
The problem for Native White is they haven't been able to have the presence on the map. You usually want to have players a little bit more separated, able to cover more of this map. Instead, they're constantly coming off respawn and having to fight over a home base. And it can get exhausting when you're not able to play on the offense, where it's constantly defensive, reactive Halo, and you keep seeing that scoreline get further and further away from you. Gilkey needs to change everything now. Tapping buttons is giving him a distraction over by Needles. There's no one on this cross, but Gilkey able to find that first pick with Mickwin, but Nemesis answered with two of his own, and Nemesis got right into the back of enemy lines and got the most important kills of the game. That's going to keep Gilkey at top tower and prevent Native White from pushing forward anytime soon. And Nemesis, he has ideas of trying to find a player at long haul before he can get away. Is going to get that trade with camouflage coming up. Native White's chance to break is now.
Gilkey chase away the bottom A player. That's going to be Squale, able to get the kill, and even has some reinforcements in McWin not too far away. Tapping Buns gets away with that camouflage, and this is going to be huge for Native White. Tapping Buns tells McWin to push up, let him finish it off with the camouflage. He's not going to take any damage whatsoever. So a great bait and switch and a great play coming out of Native White, going to net them a triple cap because of it. And they're continuing to punish Cloud9. Squale, the first one to die off a spawn. And if they're dying staggeringly like this, Cloud9 will never gain the numbers to break through Native White.
Yeah, smart play by Tapping Buttons. Just hide, lay in wait, knowing that the spawns were going to come from behind. And trip caps can neutralize games so fast, right? A huge deficit that is just chipping away. And suddenly all that work Cloud9 has done has disappeared. We're at a tight game, and a tight game that can quickly go into a game one for Native White. Rami finally breaks a couple kills, but even then, they're just fighting for a home.
Cloud9 needed a player to make a play, and Rami comes in with that double kill. That's going to open the game wide open. Somehow, the stick comes in for Barcode. That's just must be annoying for Nemesis and Cloud9, but Alpha's taken. You see multiple members of Native White going to push up toward the long haul. Looks like they want that gold side control, and they are willing to fight for it.
Rami's important to keep watching this cross, but maybe he thinks he hears something right there, or maybe it's the update that makes the big difference, Tony, where you can't hear footsteps nearly as well anymore. He's looking all around A to try to find someone, but Native White didn't allocate any resources there. Takes the BR off the map and allows Native White to get that cross to B just in time, and Barcode is going to go down as that damage over time does its job, and Nemesis continues the pressure forward.
200 points in counting here for Native White here. Cloud9 being put a bit on the clock. They want to respond here and stop Native White from putting points on the board, but Nemesis goes down. Tapping Buns almost able to trade out his life with Squale, but a distraction nonetheless for Gilkey to get away with active camouflage. And now Triton gets the back smack. There's one more player Gilkey wasn't accounting for. That's going to be Squale. So Native White go 3 down. Squale has to win this piv. It's not going to happen despite being 3 down. Tapping Buns, the final player able to not only kill the player on Bravo, get himself the reset, and with that, Native White stole the triple cap, which might just end the game.
Rami has to get into B sometime soon, because when you're in a trip cap, even when you're taking away a hill, they're still scoring. And Native White's going to be able to get all the way to 245 points before they stop it, but it's a last-second stop by Gilkey over at A, and Squall A's in trouble. You can see tapping buttons flying forward. If he can find these kills, they can get that cap. Here we go. Cloud9 stopped it, Tony, but you can see Native White still wants to push forward.
He was able to get the kill from across the map. And looks like the rest of Native White gonna try to work onto the Charlie side. Barcode has to make a bit of a hero play here on the L2 side, but the back smack coming in out of nowhere. Squall A gonna be awarded that one in the same trip cap that Native White used to get back into this game, is the same trip cap that Cloud9 are looking to equalize the situation with Triton. Now over toward the A, he's gonna pull back, allow Native White to steal away C. We have a game that's going to go down to the wire. This might be a 250 to 249 win in favor of someone.
Native White didn't hear no bell. This game's not over, but Guilty finds a massive double kill. A switching hands, but Ramby needs to get the kill. Ramby, stop A! They're just 10 ticks away. Barcode trying to get through. B switching hands, but there's no one at C for Cloud9. Squall A gets the spawns for Triton, and now it's a camouflage that can make all the difference. It's gonna come down to this last moment. Squall A needs to go big. It's perfect shots, but an easy trade, and C gets stopped in time. Native White survive the comeback.
Wow. I thought Native White were gonna win that easy peasy with the trip cap to put him in the 240 point mark to begin with, but like you said, Cloud9 refused to give up. Cloud9 always felt like they were in it, fought right back, got a trip cap of their own, and almost pulled off a miraculous comeback right there, but eventually it's Native White fighting for their winners bracket lives, refusing to get swept. And now the reverse sweep still on the table. It's not over just yet. Native White one win away from sending us into an elimination game 5.
It's not over yet, but oh my God, was it close. That trip cap looked to secure everything. I'm trying to figure out who made the play at C, who changed this game, because it was looking more and more likely to finish. And it looked like it was Barcode that got the kill. Over at Long Haul, need to win the PIV 1v1, and he goes big for the Native White roster. Yeah, it has to be Barcode, right?
Cloud9, they played well throughout the first 2 games, and even well towards this end game. As was like Squall, I was just looking around, like, I gotta find somebody here. There we go. Finds the pick he was looking for. It just wasn't enough. I didn't need a little bit more out of him from there, and I love this play. So he's going. He was lining up that stronghold pad right there to try to get a bit of the chain reaction in case anybody was able to go. Anybody was able to slide it over toward the seaside. So it was just heads up play all around.
Yeah, and honestly, so impressive from both of these teams, right? To find the moment to come back, because both of these teams, when they needed to play at their highest level, when they needed to get those trip caps and start coming back in this game, that's when they did it, when the pressure was on the line. And honestly, impressed by both these rosters, but you have to put all that away, and it's about the time to focus up on your game 4, because we're going to flag on Aquarius. Native White need to complete a reverse sweep if they want to get this job done. And so far, they've been clearly on the back foot throughout this series, able to survive an onslaught at the end of game 3. But their match, their winner side tournament, still on the line.
And that's the thing, if I'm Cloud9, I feel like they played so well towards that end game. Like, there's nothing to hold their head low about. In fact, I'm still feeling confident going into this match and say, hey, a couple days go our way and we win that. Like, if I'm even if it's not true, I'm still saying, like, hey, they got lucky, you know. I'm really chalking it up to that, because I feel like they played that well going into the end game. So if I'm still Cloud9, I'm still confident going into Aquarius, and there's still a very good capture the flag team. This is not over just yet for them. Native White, like you said, still behind the 8 ball, still having to fight with their backs against the corner.
How do you, it's like, who do you rely on for both these teams to get yourself righted? You know, how to get the ship back on its path? Because it was scary throughout 90% of this series for Native White. And then they got that trip cap. Everything was going right. When they're humming, right? And I think that's what we saw at Charlotte when they were making that incredible run on Saturday to go through the losers bracket. But sometimes when things get gritty, you have to rely on one player to turn it up. And my eyes, you know, although Barcode and Tapping are these, you know, these international players who are just absolutely making waves, I think you have to rely on the guy who built this roster, McWin, for Native White. I want to see one of the top players of all time really just start to shine and show that leadership for his team when the tournament is at its biggest moments.
Yeah, I feel like a little bit of a stray nade right there, and almost like a betrayal nade.
Right?
Was that a team nade?
It might have been.
I think it might have been a team nade, but yeah, I'm right along with you. I think Barcode is, as far as where his vocal leadership lies, just like in place to like keep the vibes up. You know, I think that's his job. But when it comes to looking for that veteran leadership, it has to come from McWin. And McWin has to be the vocal leader of this roster, I would imagine, for Native White.
I want to see his leadership ability. I want to see him lead the charge for his team. But right now, Barcode's been an absolute terror. 4 kills for him. And Gilkey's trying to find another kill to keep at pace. He stays 4, but how is Gilkey alive, man? He is dodging left and right, and there he goes. Finally, some damage going down. No, Gilkey got his shields back, and he's right back into the action. Takes on the 1v2 with tapping buttons, though. He'll clean up all that damage, ready to take on the world as he looks to get a double kill and the flag away for his team.
Tapping Button says thank you to the rest of his team for getting him that easy double kill. He said to reward you guys, I'm going to start this flag and get it toward the car side of the map. But 3 down go Cloud9. One player to watch this flag, and they're not going to turn the corner. They're actually go straight towards utility side here. They must be feeling the pressure going towards mid and going for a bit of a safer route. It's going to net positive for them. That's a 1-0 start coming out of Native White.
Yeah, just impressive how they're able to keep that flag alive. Gilkey staying alive for so long, making a big difference. But what's the follow-up for Cloud9, right? They get this camouflage, they get it away on Ramy's body, but they're not winning the gunfights at the back of this base. It's a strong defensive play from Native White, and now Ramy's in trouble with this camouflage, but Tapping Buttons just looks at the wrong corner. Ramy stays alive for a bit longer, but he just hasn't gotten really any kills to make an impact with this thing.
Keeping the camouflage out of his opponent's hands is one way to play it, and finally gets that back smack on the Tapping Button and even finds the weak Gilkey. That thrust is going to be enough to keep him alive while Squale across the map gets himself a huge kill, and just like that, the flag being started towards the mid-map. 3 down for Native White. Nobody in position to get a clean kill onto that flag run, except for Tapping Buttons. It looks like they're able to deal with them, so that flag going to be relayed forward, and this should be a tied up game at 1 apiece after that cap goes through.
Yeah, Gilkey's playing very forward right now, and you can see how Cloud9, they're starting to heavily favor the P side, but Gilkey able to find the eye of the needle, punches in that kill, and now there's no one really here to stop him on the car side. As he gets closer to this flag, he's going to be able to pull it out of the base before he's taken down, and the rest of Native White are going to start to surge forward and play for this flag.
Yeah, I feel like Gilkey wanted to like turn and challenge Shrine, but it was like almost just like outside of his sensitivity range. Like I feel like he just plays a little bit too slow to be able to go in for that challenge, and starting the flag wasn't a bad play for Native White either. Now it's either used as distraction or bait, forcing Cloud9 to slow things down and go for that reset. And if they would have won some of those slays, it would have been relayed forward, just like you saw Cloud9 do earlier. So not a bad pull before going down whatsoever. Sadly not working exactly what they want to, and while all that happens, looks like Cloud9 are able to run another flag past the 50% portion of the map. Gilkey has the camouflage. They're going to need it if they plan to stop this flag. That kill does go in, but Ramy and Shrine are starting to move in position.
Gilkey going to put his resource on to getting that flag back. Lets Barcode take the first initial damage, and Barcode stays alive. Are you kidding me, Barcode? Gilkey didn't even help him out. Barcode just takes the punch, and Gilkey's going to be able to run this flag.
Flag makes it toward utility. McWin making sure that base is cleared out. He is going to stare down the barrel with 2 different players, and it looks like he's able to get that team shot onto Rami to secure the kill. With that, Cloud9 end up going 3 down. Triton still feel confident enough to play over towards the mid-map, even through a grenade. Goes in for the challenge onto Barcode, tries to do everything he can to stop this flag from going through, but eventually he does end up going down. This flag is going to make it towards utility side, and it looks like that capture is in. It's a 2-1 lead for Native White.
It's tough if that chase nade didn't hit him. I think it's a real chance of preventing that flag from getting home. Instead, Native White take advantage of the overslay, and they're gonna look to get into another flagpole. Tapping buttons went soaring into that base. He's taken down, but Barcode, he's still knocking on this door. Someone needs to take him down. It's the guard dog of Rami that gets behind him, bites that ankle, and prevents Native White from pushing any forward.
Squall and Nemesis already forward onto the enemy base. It looks like Rami is not really that far behind them. The back shots do come in, so he's aware that there's multiple players in Native White, either over the P side or even over towards his base. Feeding that information towards his teammates. Triton is able to get the kill, is able to pull that flag forward all the way down to 1 shot. The double kill comes in, and that's going to be tapping buttons going airborne for that one. Flag still out. Native White still have to fight for the return.
Having get some great damage down and looking to get closer to this flag. The BRs come out, but it's a touch from Squall A. Squall A 17 kills this game, and now running the game-tying flag. No one from Native White's going to be able to stop him.
What a game we're seeing so far. It's tied up at 2 apiece here, and with 5 minutes and 33 seconds on the clock, anything can happen from this point forward. And Slay starting some work for Cloud9. As I say, that tapping buttons equalizer just a little bit, almost able to get 2 with Triton, but does enough damage to put Triton down to 1 shot, allowing Barcode to stop that flag from getting any further. Nemesis going to be the next opponent here. Excellent damage onto him. Somehow able to get the assist. He has the reinforcements that he's looking for. Native White making plays left and right.
Trying to climb forward into this base as he's looking to find a counter right away. And getting behind these 2 players is critical, and you can see the damage is going down. He needs to find the kill on Squall A, but McWin got the job done. Rami's the only line of defense for Cloud9, but Rami did his job. He got Gilkey off that flag, and the rest of Cloud9 are at least going to have a chance to fight for this thing once more.
Gilkey trying to navigate his way through that utility side, having no idea that there was 3 members of Cloud9 taking that exact same route. But eventually those who push together die together, and that's a clean sweep for Native White. 4 down for Cloud9, even the spawning Triton having nowhere to go, but right back to the 8 seconds he just came from. And everybody of Cloud9 is stuck on their third of the map. Meanwhile, that flag is just seconds away from going home. Cloud9 gonna have to punt this flag. It looks like they have to play for the camouflage. Wait, who just killed the flag carrier?
Is it gonna be enough though? Oh, right on the finish line. Gilkey just gets it back in. And I give a lot of credit to that flag captain tapping buttons, because he played away for the rest of his team, but he had a confidence that his teammates were going to get those kills, and he was ready for the spawn right away. Got those players and prevented them from overextending in time. You can see saving 1 or 2 seconds was the difference between that flag going home and not. Tapping buttons able to help secure that 3rd flag for his team.
And I might have missed it, but a camouflage did come up, and I'm not sure who was able to get their hands on it here. I know it's not Gilkey, I know it's not Squall A. Rami with the flank and the dynamo grenade. 3 down for Cloud9. Native White gonna use that as an opportunity to get aggressive, clearing out their base, turning the defense into offense. Triton thought he had a 1v1, end up turning into a 1v3. Native White with the teamwork, even the members across the map always having their reticles trained on each other. Rami's down to 1 shot. He's not going to be able to go anywhere. Triton off a spawn. Might be able to stop Gilkey from pulling this flag. Early damage is in. Triton takes him down, but he's going to go down as well. Tapping buttons might be able to at least start this flagpole for Native White.
Ooh, a little left-right Nemesis gets the perfect kill, but Barcode's there to find the immediate trade. And now what really is important is who can leak forward without being taken out, right? Who can get into the opposing base while staying alive and allowing their team to play forward. And so far, you're starting to see players take lower routes, trying to find a way to break in. But players like Squall A are just so aware, right? Staying in that middle lane, trying to ensure that no one gets past where they need them.
Squall A finally taken out, not before putting 23 kills on the board. One of the more accurate players that we have in the HCS. McWin getting a little froggy with it. Eventually, Nemesis is able to take him down, and now Triton along with Cloud9. They're just looking for one more kill. One more kill will allow them to push comfortably forward. Squall A with the check nade. Might have been able to do some damage onto Gilkey, slows him down just a little bit. And with this 4v3, it was like Cloud9 needs to take advantage. That's a huge pivotal fight coming out of Gilkey onto Squall A. Now tapping Bun's gonna take advantage of having the active camouflage. Sneaks right in to take down Rami. Feeling confident to challenge. Triton doesn't know that he even has help over towards the car side. Big damage coming in for Nemesis to take down that camouflage player.
Time's running out for Cloud9. They have to start playing forward. They might have to get a little bit desperate, play a bit faster than they're used to. And I don't know who was at the shock nades right there. I guess it was Triton, but they just left their teammate to hang.
Double kill.
Barcode, you can't let Barcode get a 1v1 fight. He's at 32 kills plus 12 in this game. You let your teammate play a one-on-one against Barcode, it's going Barcode's way.
55 seconds on the clock. Cloud9 must be feeling the pressure at the moment. They need to get a pull just to force the sudden death and hopefully tie things up. The last thing that Cloud9 want to see is a game number 5. And if they keep playing like this, it might just happen. Rami goes down, not able to take down Barcode. Tapping Buns, getting the spawn over toward the back base. I don't think Nemesis is aware of that, so Nemesis deals with one. Will eventually find the first.
Oh no.
Good God.
Mark the time and date. We just saw an absolute brutal murder take place. Are you kidding me, Gilkey?
Double kill.
And that's kind of how things have been going for Cloud9 so far. You know, not able to get the touch on this flag, but hold on! Gilkey can't get the return. Native White ended up going 3 down. Nemesis make it up for it by diving in and putting his body on the line, giving up his life to keep that flag alive, and we are still in sudden death. Triton goes down over toward the car side. Native White surrounding this flag. All they have to do is secure the kills. Even the camouflage might help just a bit, but this return comes in as Cloud9 go forward down, almost able to tie things up. But
hey, Louis, I like a murder. I think I need to see something on screen. Because Tony, that was unreal. The breakdown that we just saw.
It was really tough. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I believe Nemesis was full shields. I want to say Gilkey was one shot, and Gilkey played that masterfully. You know, using that box as cover. No. The miss melee, that's a slow acceleration. This man playing on 1-2-2. Did that slow turn? Look at the sensitivity. Look, goes in for the melee, and can't quite find.
I was surprised he looked up, right? Oh no! Oh, it was McWin. It wasn't even Gilkey. Was this McWin? Oh, it was McWin. I feel bad.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god! I thought it was Gilkey. Sheesh!
Dude, can we play that like regular speed? I just want to see like how slow is that sensitivity? Look. It has to be slow turn because he's not moving that slow. Look, he whips over. That's not that slow. This right here. This is slow turn right there. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
And that's all like 120 FOV, so it even looks fast. It's even faster than it looks too. Like,
sometimes, I mean, honestly, if we go back and we look at the reticle, you never, other than missing the first initial punch, he never really had a chance to kill him. It wasn't like he missed shots. He never got that reticle on to get the kill. But I mean, you hate to see that, man.
Oh man. Really tough, but either way, Cloud9 still were able to take the first 2 games. They still were looking good in that game number 3, and even in that game 4, you only lose out by 1 cap. Literally just 1 capture. So going into this game 5, Cloud9 is not out of it just yet, but you have to think that momentum really is in favor of Native White. They are 1 win away from pulling off that reverse sweep. Street Slayer is going to be the final game of this series. Can Cloud9 take out Native White in back-to-back weeks, or will Native White finally get their revenge?
Reverse sweep. Hey, game 5. Last time Cloud9 played against a roster that had Native in their name, Cloud9 won. We'll have to take that for its grain of salt. They just got off a game 5 victory against Native Red. Now, against the sister team of Native White, Cloud9 have to get the job done once again, but the reverse sweep looking more and more likely. Barcode not able to waste both those rockets away, and Cloud9 is surging forward. These rockets looking to go in their hands as Nemesis gets the pickup.
Nemesis with the rocket launcher in hand. Gonna try to take his time on this one. Doesn't want to make any mistakes with this rocket. It definitely wants to secure himself a kill. Not gonna waste it. Able to drop down without being taken out, and I love this play by Nemesis. Patience is a weapon he's gonna use against the enemy team here as he takes down one, even able to whip out his BR and gets his revenge. Nemesis is back with a 4-0 start, 1 assist to go along with it, and now he has the help of Triton here on the B side of the map.
Woo. Hey, that was nice and clean from Nemesis right there. Got the shots on. Double kill for him, and he's going into the Shadow Realm, and he's looking to get the kill, able to get the trade on Barcode. And right now, I mean, the lead just continues to grow for Cloud9. Finally, Native White able to take down the power weapon players, but you have a lot of work ahead of you. You got to find wipe after wipe if you want to get back in this game quickly.
Wasn't too long ago that Cloud9 started this series off with a 2-0 win, but it's been Native White that have answered every single response from Cloud9. Every single response has been answered right back for Native White, and it's them trying to complete the reverse sweep. Rockets are coming up in about 14 seconds here, so enough time for either one of these teams to get the wipes they're looking for. The shotgun definitely gonna help Tapping Buds bring him down to 1 shot. Into the shadows he goes to take down Triton, right back out, emerging victorious, and now it gets a shroud of his own because of it. Gonna swap out that Bulldog for Rockets, so well played by Tapping Buns, and he gets himself a reward in the Spankers. 1 kill away within striking distance, and this rocket might just tie things up.
Wow, what an absolute pivotal play that Tapping gets, but the rocket isn't quite connecting. Train's at the right place, right time. He's gonna take out both these players. Barcode goes down. He's not done. He's not done. Train gets 2. Are you kidding me? Train, he's still looking for more. This man's hungry.
Triton currently 7 and 3, 2 assists to go along with the excellent shots onto McWin, but ends up getting lost in the shadows there. And looks like once again McWin finessing his way out of yet another death and retreating back to the subway side, but they can't escape destiny for that long. Eventually Nemesis takes him down. Tapping Buns use the shroud to get out of that situation. We are seeing the smoke screens at work in multiple different ways, but mostly defensively so far. It's been working for Native White.
Right now, McWin's that last player alive, and he's trying to pre-fire his way, able to stay alive at minimum, which is great, but you can see Cloud9 are going to be hyper aware of where these spawns are for Native White, and it's going to be tough to play forward out of this, but Tapping Buttons does his job. He's able to find 2, and they're sending the whole bag to get Tapping Buttons down, but wasn't too many resources that were allocated. Native White, even though their positions were known, the timing was there for Cloud9. They are able to find the break, and McWin never falls down, able to stay alive. And with Rockets coming up in about 20 seconds, this next round of slays could completely change this game.
McWin gonna try to stay alive here over with the ATMs. Rockets are coming up, and as he starts to lose numbers, he knows he has to do a bit of damage, and sadly taking a lot more than he can chew. So McWin gonna be the first one to go down in that engagement. Triton not able to connect the shotty to Gilkey's body, and with that, Rockets are up, and Rammies just gets a free one despite being 3 down. He steals away those rockets, able to waste 1 that should be 1 that changes hands over to Native White, and Tapping Buns very much extended into the spawning players of Cloud9.
Ooh, neither of those rockets really going to connect for a kill. Wasted opportunities, and it's going to keep this game close for now. But Native White has better map control at the moment. You can see Cloud9, they're going to gather together, trying to find the way that they want to break in, and Gilkey His partner right now is Barcode, but they're so separated on this game that timing was going to be vital to that push, and Rami takes advantage of it. He's able to get that kill, and now Barcode's separated from the rest of his teammates. If Cloud9 can find these kills, they can start to find some separation. But great plays from Native White. Even though they don't have the team help that they want, they're still able to find kills, and now for the first time have a lead, playing from a dangerous position and making the most of it.
This game has been neck and neck so far throughout the first half, but they say that Slayers don't really start until that 30 kill mark, or Native White having a 1 kill lead so far. And Gilkey, I thought he was gonna stay in that corner, wait for somebody to go past. Instead, goes in for the early challenge to trade out his life over toward the red room. Meanwhile, Tapping Buns looking to navigate his way over toward the Charlie side. Couple of warning shots go off across the map. Turns the corner at the wrong time. Nothing working right for Tapping Buns in that battle. Luckily, the rest of Native White pick up the kills that they were looking for, leaving Nemesis by himself. Despite having the shotgun, he's not going to be able to stay alive. Native White clear out the subway, a 2 kill lead.
I mean, that play right there, it might be inconspicuous, but Barcode staying alive might just change this entire game. A swing that Cloud9 was expecting, a kill that they should have counted on, not able to get away with it. And now Shroud Screen goes in the hands of Native White, and with rockets coming up, they're going to have a much better opportunity to fight for this. And you can see Barcode already got away with the big gun. He gets the kill, and Barcode's life just keeps on living. He has 5 in a row, and now his team's lead growing.
Cloud9 down by 4 kills, playing with fire, allowing Barcode to sneak away with those rockets, and now kill after kill starts to go in favor of Native White, but a stray grenade out of both Squad Late and Triton's gonna slow Native White down quite a bit. A 4v2 at the moment as Cloud9 look to push up over toward the subway side. It's Nemesis and Triton working together, and McWin, who's an escape once again in the shadows, gets him that southern hospitality that's oh so known over in Augusta, Georgia. McWin taking him down, trading his life out over in the Shroud Tree.
Cloud9's running out of runway. They need to start finding some vital kills before it gets too late. Now just 2 deaths to give up. I think that might be too little too late. How do you get 7 unanswered kills in this tough position? As Native White, all they have to do is find a single trade.
Native White just 1 kill away from pulling off the reverse sweep. We're on board with Tapping Buns, and he's not going to be the one to get it. I want to say it was Gilkey that might have popped up on the feed. 50-43 for Native White. We just saw a reverse sweep, ladies and gentlemen. Cloud9 will not go back-to-back against Native White.
A phenomenal resilience from Native White, right? That game 3, that swing game made all of the difference. And from there, they just looked so much better. Really an impressive display by Native White throughout that entire best of 5. And that's our last match of the winner side. We now know the 4 teams that have qualified for Thursday's continuation is going to be Native White, FaZe, G1, and Space Station Gaming.
I'm confused, and I think I have a right to be confused, because in those first 2 games, Cloud9 were one pretty dominant. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm not saying like, you know, it was, you know, a state tackle or a 3-0, but a 3-1 in game number 1 into a 50-37 win in that Slayer. These are not like these are not just like, you know, skate by type of wins. And for them to throw it away like that, I mean, I don't want to take any credit away from Native White, because I thought they played great in that game number 3. But remember, Cloud9 were the ones who got that final trip cap. Feel like that might have ran away with in that game number 3 and pulled off the sweep. Like, I'm very surprised that Cloud9 got outplayed in those final 3 games. You know, congrats to Native White, because that was a fight, and that was a well-deserved one. They definitely belong making it into Championship Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, it's a heartbreak for Cloud9, right? It felt like everything was in their favor, but McWin, baby, he only wins. I'll be very breaking ankles, He's getting kills and he leads his team. Who do we want to step up? It was McWin, and I think he did a great job at getting his team forward. Barcode was slaying out of his mind. Tapping buttons in that last game was absolutely devastating. Honestly, Cloud9 had a chance to run away with that game early on, but it felt like Tapping Button's slaying ability, going double pot, I think it was 13-7 in the beginning of that game, really kept them within striking distance. And then once the opportunity came, Native White took it and ran with it. Now